Good evening. My name is Saif. Today we will be talking about how SEO actually helps roofers beat platforms like Angi and HomeAdvisor. And if you're watching this video, it's very likely you're probably paid or you're still paying for Angi or HomeAdvisor leads. And there's a good chance that you're actually working harder but for a lot less money. And it's not because your business is going bad, or it's not even because your sales system is weak or inefficient. It's because the system that you're actually buying a lead from is designed to make you compete. And in this video, I'm going to break down a real case study of how one roofing company replaced paid leads with SEO and later ended up with a lot better jobs and a lot better predictable revenue for your business. So before we get started, let's understand how this whole model of Angi and HomeAdvisor actually work. Let's say you pay for one lead. The same lead actually gets sent to three, four, sometimes even five contractors at the same time. Right now, everyone is calling the same homeowner. So what happens? In most cases, the homeowner isn't going to choose based on quality. They're actually choosing based on who calls first, who sounds decent, and who actually gives the lowest price. That means right now you're not really competing on value. Instead, you're competing based on speed and price. So let's say even if you manage to close a job, your margins are going to be already pretty thin. So the real problem is not the fact that your closing ability, is the fact that you're actually operating in a system where you don't really have any control over your lead flow, and you don't really have much of an influence on your pricing, since most of the time you're going to be compete on the lowest price. So right now, let's see what happens when you actually replace that system with SEO. So this is the lead form of one of the client that I work with. As you can see, these are like actual people who submitted their roofing queries that they had for my client in the area that he was operating at, and we were able to get this many queries in just a span of less than 6 months, I would say. And how were we able to do that? So instead of, first of all, buying leads, the company that I work with, we actually help them to build them a system that helps them to capture demand directly. And in order to do so, first we created high intent service and location pages, which targets commercial keywords like roofing service, the location where they operate. My client was also certified to do metal roofing, so we also went for metal roofing, the location where they serve it, and we create a lot more commercial and transaction pages like that. The thing is that these are the keywords, I would say the money keywords. These are the keywords that people actively search when they are searching for a roofer. And it's important that you build these pages and actually optimize them for search. And lastly, just creating content is not enough. You also need to build links. And we build local links through niche plus localized backlinks to the homepage. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, you create good content and you build good links and make sure your site is indexable, crawlable from a technical SEO perspective, and you're pretty much good to go. And second, we optimize the Google My Business profile. And in my opinion, a lot of the leads that you're going to actually get when it comes to search engine is going to be from the Google My Business profile. And to rank your Google Business profile, you just gotta optimize it. You gotta get more reviews. You need to consistently update your profile and make sure that you have the right category in place for the services that you actually do. For instance, let's say if I was a roofer who was based at Bellingham, Washington right now, and my goal is to compete in the local pack area right now over here. My goal would be to find, in the long term, my goal would be to get at least 100 or 150 reviews or even more. My goal would be to outrank and outcompete topside roofing and siding. And yeah, and also make sure, and of course, you gotta make sure that your profile is optimized at the same time. But if you are not competitive in terms of the number of reviews and the quality of reviews, you are not really gonna do well in local packs. So it's really important you get faster reviews and get a lot of them, and you outrank or outcompete your competitors in the numbers of reviews that they have. And third, a lot of people don't really like adding blog content for local SEO campaigns, but in my opinion, they're actually pretty important because first, they help with authority, and second, they can actually help with internal linking the pages as well. And when it comes to creating blog content for roofing sites, I normally like to create content which are actually pretty close to the buying decision homeowner or a business owner would actually make. Let's say the most common questions that we write about is how much does a roof cost in the location that they operate at? How do you know if you whether or not you need a replacement in the location where you actually operate at? Stuff like that. Any question that's pretty much very close to the buying journey, I think those questions can really help you to bring in leads and customers as well. The shift is simple but powerful. Here's the thing. Once we were able to implement the system with SEO where they were generating inbound leads and stop paying for any paid leads, they stopped chasing like share leads and they start receiving inbound calls from people who actually choose them first. So now from an SEO perspective, this is the metric that we got from 20 visitors to 776 and everything. Like yeah, traffic and everything increased significantly. You rank for the main service keywords, at least became consistent. Here's the thing, traffic is not something that a lot of roofers really care about. What they care about is qualified leads. And that's what we were able to generate. And as soon as we were able to generate more calls and more leads inbound, their average job value increased. The cost per lead dropped dramatically. And what was that? Because right now the difference is that these leads were finding them directly through Google search. And in most cases, if a person is finding you through Google, they already have a degree of trust in you. And in most cases, they're not competing or comparing you against 5 or 6 contractors at the same time. And that's a completely different position to be in. Yeah, it's true that Angi and HomeAdvisor gives you access to leads, but with SEO, you actually have ownership over them. One forces you into competition, whereas the other completely removes most of it. And over time, the difference compounds in your close rate, your margins, and your revenue. So if there's one thing you can take from this video, it's in most cases, you don't need more leads. You just need a better and qualified ones. And SEO is definitely an avenue through which it can help you to get it. And last but not the least, I actually help roofers to build predictable revenue system using SEO. So if this is something you're interested in, you can book a meeting with me on my Calendly link, and I will see you next time. Thank you.